they are the most fortunate of all. Next. In this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai passed the whole night relishing the mellows of Krishna Katha, topics about Krishna. While they were chanting, dancing and crying, the night ended. Next. The next morning, they both departed to perform their respective duties. But in the evening, Ramananda Rai returned to meet the Lord again. Next. That evening, after discussing the topics of Krishna for some time, Ramananda Rai caught hold of the lotus feet of the Lord and spoke as follows. There is a variety of transcendental truths. The truth about Krishna, the truth about Radharani, the truth about their loving affairs, the truth about transcendental humors, and the truth about the Lord's pastimes. Text 264. You have manifested all these transcendental truths in my heart. This is exactly the way Narayana educated Lord Brahma. Purport. The heart of Brahma was enlightened by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is Vedic information given in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Quote, because I desire liberation, let me surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who first enlightened Lord Brahma in Vedic knowledge through Lord Brahma's heart. The Lord is the original source of all enlightenment and spiritual advancement. Unquote. In this connection, one may also refer to Srimad Bhagavatam 2.9.30 to 35, 11.14 to 3, 12.4 to 40, and 12.13.19. Text 265. Ramananda Rai continued. The super soul within everyone's heart speaks not externally but from within. He instructs the devotee in all respects, and that is his way of instruction. Purport. Here Ramananda Rai admits that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the super soul. It is the super soul that inspires the devotee. Therefore, he is the original source of the Gayatri mantra, which states Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Brahma Prachodayat. Savita is the original source of all intelligence. That Savita is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.4.22. Quote, may the Lord, who is the beginning of the creation, May the Lord, who in the beginning of the creation amplified the potent knowledge of Brahma from within his heart and inspired him with full knowledge of creation and his own self, and who appeared to be generated from the mouth of Brahma, be pleased with me. Unquote. This was spoken by Shukadeva Goswami when he invoked the blessing of the Supreme Personality of Godhead before delivering Srimad Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit. Text 266. Translation. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, Son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature, appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. Unquote. Purport. This verse is the opening invocation of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.1. Text 267. Ramananda Rai then said that he had but one doubt within his heart, and he petitioned the Lord. Quote, please be merciful upon me and just remove my doubt. Unquote. 268. Ramanand Rai then told Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, at first I saw you appear like a sannyasi, but now I am seeing you as Shyamasundar, the cowherd boy. 269. I now see you appearing like a golden doll, and your entire body appears covered by a golden luster. Purport. Shyamasundar is blackish, but here Ramananda Rai says that he saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear golden. The lustrous body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was covered by the bodily complexion of Srimati Radharani. 270. I see that you are holding a flute to your mouth, and your lotus eyes are moving very restlessly due to various ecstasies. 271. I actually see you in this way, and this is very wonderful. My Lord, please tell me without duplicity what is causing this. Unquote. 272. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, quote, You have a deep love for Krishna, and one who has such deep ecstatic love for Lord naturally sees things in such a way. Please take this from me to be certain. 273. A devotee advanced on the spiritual platform sees everything movable and inert as the Supreme Lord. For him, everything he sees here and there is but a manifestation of Lord Krishna. 274. Quote, the Mahabhagavata, the advanced devotee, certainly sees everything.
रामकृष्ण भगवान जो आए थे
The Mahabhagavata, the advanced devotee, certainly sees everything mobile and immobile, but he does not exactly see their forms. Rather, everywhere he immediately sees manifest the form of the Supreme Lord. Unquote. Purport. Due to his deep ecstatic love for Krishna, the Mahabhagavata sees Krishna everywhere and nothing else. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santah Sadaiva Hideshu Vilokayanti. As soon as a devotee sees something, be it movable or inert, he immediately remembers Krishna. An advanced devotee is advanced in knowledge. This knowledge is very natural to a devotee, for he has already read in the Bhagavad Gita how to awaken Krishna consciousness. According to Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashi suryaho pranavaha sarva vedeshu shabdah ke paurusham nishu. O son of Kunti, Arjuna, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras, and the sound in ether and ability in man. Thus, when a devotee drinks water or any other liquid, he immediately remembers Krishna. For a devotee, there is no difficulty in awakening Krishna consciousness 24 hours a day. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says here, Bhavar Jangam Dekhe Na Dekhe Tara Murti, Sarvatra Hai Nij Isht Deva Spurti. A saintly person, an advanced devotee, sees Krishna 24 hours a day and nothing else. As far as movable and inert things are concerned, a devotee sees them all as transformations of Krishna's energy. As Lord states in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhumirapo Nalo Vayu Kham Mano Buddhirevacha Ahankariti Yamme Bhinna Prakati Ashtada. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego. Altogether, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. Actually, nothing is separate from Krishna. When a devotee sees a tree, he knows that the tree is a combination of 2 energies, material and spiritual. The inferior energy, which is material, forms the body of the tree. However, within the tree is the living entity, the spiritual spark, which is part and parcel of Krishna. This is the superior energy of Krishna within this world. Whatever living things we see is simply a combination of these 2 energies. When an advanced devotee thinks of these energies, he immediately understands that they are manifestations of the Supreme Lord. As soon as we see the sun rise in the morning, we arise and set about doing our morning duties. Similarly, as soon as a devotee sees the energy of the Lord, he immediately remembers Lord Shri Krishna. This is explained in this verse. Sarvatra Hari Nij Ishta Dev Spurti. A devotee who has purified his existence through devotional service sees only Krishna in every step of life. This is also explained in the next verse, which is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.45. Next, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, quote, a person advanced in devotional service sees within everything the soul of all souls, the soul of souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Consequently, he always sees the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the cause of all causes and understands that all things are situated in him. The plants, creepers, and trees were full of fruits and flowers due to the ecstatic love of Krishna. Indeed, being so full, they were bowing down. They were inspired by such deep love for Krishna that they were constantly pouring showers of honey. In this way, the gopis saw all the forests of Vrindavan. Purport. This verse, 10.35.9, is one of the songs the gopis sang during Krishna's absence. In Krishna's absence, the gopis were always absorbed in thought of him. Similarly, the Mahabhagavata, the advanced devotee, sees everything as potentially serving the Lord. Srila Rupa Goswami states, Prapanchikataya Bhutya, Hari Sambandhi Vastunaha, Muhukshubi Parityago, Vairagyam, Falgu Kathyate. The advanced devotee does not see anything as unconnected with Krishna. Unlike the Mayavadi philosophers, a devotee does not see the material world as false because he knows that everything in the material world is connected to Krishna. A devotee knows how to utilize everything in the service of the Lord, and this is characteristic of the Mahabhagavata. The gopis saw the plants, creepers, and forest trees loaded with fruits and flowers and ready to serve Krishna. In this way, they immediately remembered their worshipper, Lord Shri Krishna. They did not simply see plants, creepers, and trees the way a mundaner sees them. Text 277. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, quote, my dear Rai, you are an advanced devotee and are always filled with ecstatic love for Radha and Krishna. Therefore, whatever you see, anywhere and everywhere, simply awakens your Krishna consciousness. Unquote. (278) Ramananda Rai replied, quote, my dear Lord, please give up all these serious talks. Please do not conceal your real form from me. Ramananda Rai continued, my dear Lord, I can understand that you have assumed the ecstasy and bodily complexion of Srimati Radharani. By accepting this, you are tasting your own personal transcendental humor and have therefore appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Next. My dear Lord, you have descended in this incarnation of Lord Chaitanya for your own personal reasons. You have come to taste your own spiritual bliss, and at the same time you are transforming the whole world by spreading the ecstasy of love of Godhead. Next. My dear Lord, by your causeless mercy, you have appeared before me to grant me liberation. Now you are playing in a duplicitous way. What is the reason for this behavior? Next. Lord Shri Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure, and Srimati Radharani is the personification of ecstatic love of Godhead. These two forms had combined as one in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This being the case, Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed his real form to Ramananda Rai. Perfect. This is described as Radha Bhavadyuti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Surupam. Lord Shri Krishna was absorbed in the features of Srimati Radharani. This was disclosed to Ramananda Rai when he saw Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. An advanced devotee can understand Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahayanya. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being a combination of Krishna and Radha, is non-different from Radha Krishna combined. This is explained by Swarup Damodar Goswami. Radha Krishna Pranayamir Vikritir Radhini Shakti Rasmad Ekatma Now kapi bhuvi pura deha vedam gatau tau chaitanyakhyam prakatam adhuna tadvayam chaikyam avattam radha bhavjati suvalitam naumi Krishna sarupam. Radha Krishna is one. Radha Krishna is Krishna and Krishna's pleasure potency combined. When Krishna exhibits his pleasure potency, he appears to be two, Radha and Krishna. Otherwise, Radha and Krishna are one. This oneness may be perceived by advanced devotees through the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This was the case with Ramananda Rai. One may aspire to attain such a position, but one should not try to imitate the Mahabhagavata. Text 283. Upon seeing this form, Ramananda Rai lost consciousness in transcendental bliss. Unable to remain standing, he fell to the ground. Next. When Ramananda Rai fell to the ground unconscious, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu touched his hand and he immediately regained consciousness. But when he saw Lord Chaitanya in the dress of a sannyasi, he was struck with wonder. After embracing Ramananda Rai, the Lord pacified him, informing him, quote, "But for you, no one has ever seen this form." Unquote. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita 7.25, Lord Krishna states, Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavitaha modoyam na vijanati loko mam ajam avyayam. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them I am covered by my internal potency, yogamaya, and so they do not know me, who am unborn and infallible. Unquote. The Lord always reserves the right of not being exposed to everyone. The devotees, however, are always engaged in the service of the Lord, serving with the tongue by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra and tasting Mahaprasadam. Gradually, the sincere devotee pleases the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Supreme Lord reveals Himself. One cannot see the Supreme Lord by making personal efforts. Rather, when the Lord is pleased by the service of a devotee, He reveals Himself. Text 286. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirmed, quote, "All the truths about my pastimes and mellows are within your knowledge. Therefore, I have shown this form to you. Actually, my body does not have a fair complexion. It only appears so because it has touched the body of Srimati Radharani. However, she does not touch anyone but the son of Nanda Maharaj." Next. I have now converted my body and mind into the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani. Thus I am tasting my own personal sweetness in that form. Unquote. Purport. Gaur Sundar here informed Sri Ramananda Rai, quote, "My dear Ramananda Rai, you are actually seeing a separate person with a fair complexioned body. Actually I am not fair. Being Sri Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, I am blackish. But when I come in touch with Srimati Radharani, I become fair complexioned externally. Srimati Radharani does not touch the body of anyone but Krishna. I taste my own transcendental features by accepting the complexion of Srimati Radharani. Without Radharani, one cannot taste the transcendental pleasure of Krishna's conjugal love." Unquote. In this regard, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments on the Prakrit Sahajiya Sampradaya, which considers Krishna and Lord Chaitanya to possess different bodies. They misinterpret the words Gaur Ang Nahe Mora in text 287. From that verse and the present verse, we can understand that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Krishna. Both are the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the form of Krishna, the Lord enjoys spiritual bliss and remains the shelter of all devotees, Vishya Vigraha. And in his Gauranga feature, Krishna tastes separation from Krishna in the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani. This ecstatic form is Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Sri Krishna is always the transcendental reservoir of all pleasure, and he is technically called Dheer Lalit. Srimati Radharani is the embodiment of spiritual energy, personified as ecstatic love for Krishna. Therefore, only Krishna can touch her. The Dheer Lalit aspect is not seen in any other form of the Lord, including Vishnu and Narayan. Srimati Radharani is therefore known as Govinda Nandini and Govinda Mohini, for she is the only source of transcendental pleasure for Sri Krishna and the only person who can enchant his mind. Text 289. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then admitted to his pure devotee Ramananda Rai, quote, "Now there is no confidential activity unknown to you. Even though I try to conceal my activities, you can understand everything in detail by virtue of your advanced love for me." Unquote. Next, the Lord then requested Ramananda Rai, quote, "Keep all these talks a secret. Please do not expose them anywhere and everywhere. Since my activities appear to be like those of a madman, people may take them lightly and laugh." Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, "Indeed, I am a madman and you are also a madman. Therefore, we are on the same platform." Purport. All these conversations between Ramananda Rai and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear ludicrous to a common man who is not a devotee. The entire world is filled with material conceptions, and people are unable to understand these conversations due to the conditioning of mundane philosophy. Those who are overly attached to mundane activities cannot understand the ecstatic conversations between Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Consequently, the Lord requested that Ramananda Rai keep all these conversations secret and not expose them to the general populace. If one is actually advanced in Krishna consciousness, he can understand these confidential talks. Otherwise, they appear crazy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore informed Ramananda Rai that they both appeared like madmen and were therefore on the same platform. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 2.69. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati sanyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehi. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-control, and the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. Sometimes Krishna consciousness appears. Sorry? Last verse. The Lord then requested Ramananda Rai, "Keep all these talks a secret. Please do not expose them anywhere and everywhere. Since my activities appear to be like those of a madman, people may take them lightly and laugh." Text 291. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, "Indeed, I am a madman and you are also a madman. Therefore, we are on the same platform." Purport. All these conversations between Ramananda Rai and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear ludicrous to a common man who is not a devotee. The entire world is filled with material conceptions, and people are unable to understand these conversations due to the conditioning of mundane philosophy. Those who are overly attached to mundane activities cannot understand the ecstatic conversations between Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Consequently, the Lord requested that Ramananda Rai keep all these conversations secret and not expose them to general populace. If one is actually advanced in Krishna consciousness, he can understand these confidential talks. Otherwise, they appear crazy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore informed Ramananda Rai that they both appeared like madmen and were therefore on the same platform. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 2.69. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati sanyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato mune. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-controlled, and the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. Sometimes Krishna consciousness appears like a type of madness to mundane people, just as the activities of mundaners are considered a form of madness by Krishna conscious men. Text 292. For 10 nights, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai spent a happy time discussing the pastimes of Krishna. Next, the conversations between Ramananda Rai and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu contain the most confidential subject matters touching on the conjugal love between Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan, Vrajabhumi. Although they talked at great length about these pastimes, they could not reach the limit of discussion. 294. Actually, these conversations are like a great mine where from a single place one can extract all kinds of metals, copper, bell metal, silver, and gold, and also touchstone, the basis of all metals. Purport. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives the following summary of the conversations between Ramananda Rai and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ramananda Rai replied to 5 questions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and these questions and their replies are recorded in verses 57 to 67. The first answer is compared to copper, the second to a better metal, bell metal, the third to a still better metal, silver, and the fourth to the best metal of all, gold. But the fifth answer is compared to the most valuable gem, touchstone, because it deals with unalloyed devotion, the ultimate goal of devotional life, and illuminates the preceding 4 subordinate answers. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur points out that in Rajbhumi there is the Yamuna river with its sandy banks. There are Kadamba trees, cows, Krishna's sticks with which he herds cows, and Krishna's flute. All of these belong to Shantaras, the mellow of neutrality in devotional service. There are also the direct servants of Krishna such as Chitrak, Patrak, and Raktak, and these are the embodiments of service in the mellow of servitude. There are also friends like Sridama and Sudama who embody service in fraternity.
Next slok.
Last sloka.
Next slok.
Text 295. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai worked like miners, excavating all kinds of valuable metals, each one better than the other. Their questions and answers are exactly like that. Text 296. The next day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu begged Ramananda Rai to give him permission to leave, and at the time of farewell, the Lord gave him the following orders. 297. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, "Give up all material engagements and come to Jagannath Puri. I will return there very soon after finishing my tour and pilgrimage." 298. The two of us shall remain together at Jagannath Puri and happily pass our time discussing Krishna. 299. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then embraced Ramananda Rai, and after sending him back to his home, the Lord took rest. Text 300. After rising from bed the next morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the local temple where there was a deity of Hanuman. After offering him obeisances, the Lord departed for South India. Purport. In almost all the cities and towns of India, there are temples of Hanumanji, the eternal servant of Lord Ramchandra. There is even a temple of Hanuman near Govindaji temple in Vrindavan. Formerly, this temple was in front of the Gopalji temple, but the Gopalji deity went to Orissa to remain as Sakshi Gopal. Being the eternal servant of Lord Ramchandra, Hanumanji has been respectfully worshipped for many hundreds and thousands of years. Here, even Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu set the example in showing how one should offer respects to Hanumanji. Text 301. All the residents of Vidyanagar were of different faiths, but after seeing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they abandoned their own faiths and became Vaishnavas. 302. When Ramananda Rai began to feel separation from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was overwhelmed. Meditating on the Lord, he gave up all his material business. Next, I have briefly described the meeting between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. No one can actually describe this meeting exhaustively. It is even impossible for Lord Sheshanag, who has thousands of hoods. 304. The activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are like condensed milk, and the activities of Ramananda Rai are like large quantities of sugar candy. 305. Their meeting is like a mixture of condensed milk and sugar candy. When they talk of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, Their meeting is exactly like a mixture of condensed milk and sugar candy. When they talk of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, camphor is added. One who tastes this combined preparation is most fortunate. 306. This wonderful preparation has to be taken orally. If one takes it, he becomes greedy to relish it even further. 307. By hearing the talks between Ramananda Rai and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one becomes enlightened with the transcendental knowledge of the mellows of Radha and Krishna's pastimes. Thus one can develop unalloyed love for the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. Next, the author requests every reader to hear these talks with faith and without argument. By studying them in this way, one will be able to understand the confidential truth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. 309. This part of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes is most confidential. One can derive benefit quickly only by faith. Otherwise, by arguing, one will always remain far away. 310. He who has accepted as everything the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, and Advaita Prabhu can attain this transcendental treasure. Purport. Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that Krishna is obtainable for the faithful, but for those who are accustomed to argue, Krishna is far, far away. Similarly, these talks between Ramananda Rai and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can be understood by a person who has firm faith. Those who are not in the disciplic succession, the Asaut Panthis, cannot have faith in these talks. They are always doubting and engaging in mental concoctions. These talks cannot be understood by such whimsical people. Transcendental topics remain far, far away from those engaged in mundane arguments. In this regard, the Vedic mantras in the Katha Upanishad state, Naisha Tarkena Matir Apaneya Prokta Nayena Viva Sugyaya Teshtha. According to Mundak Upanishad 3.2.3, Nayam Atma Pravachnena Labhyo Namedayana Bahuna Shutena Yame Vaishya Vrinate Tena Labhyas Tasyaisha Atma Vibronate Tanum Swam. And according to Brahma Sutra 2.1.11, Tarko Apratishthana. All Vedic literatures declare that transcendental subjects cannot be understood simply by argument or logic. Spiritual matters are far above experimental knowledge. Only by Krishna's mercy can one who is interested in his transcendental loving affairs understand them. If one tries to understand these transcendental topics simply by using one's material brain substance, the attempt will be futile. Whether one is a Prakrit Sahajiya or a mundaner opportunist or scholar, one's labor to understand these topics by mundane means will ultimately be frustrated. One therefore has to give up all mundane attempts and try to become a pure devotee of Lord Vishnu. When a devotee follows the regulative principles, the truth of these talks will be revealed to him. This is confirmed in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.234. Atha Shri Krishna Namadi Na Bhaved Gahyam Indriyai Sevan Mukhe Hi Jihvado Swayam Ev Spurti Adha. One cannot understand the Lord's holy name, pastimes, form, qualities or entourage with one's blunt material senses. However, when the senses are purified by the constant rendering of service, the spiritual truth of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna is revealed. As confirmed in the Mundak Upanishad, Yam Evaishya Vyanate Tena Labhyas. Only one who is favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead can understand the transcendental features of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 311. I offer 10 million obeisances unto the lotus feet of Sri Ramananda Rai, because from his mouth such spiritual information has been expanded by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Next, I have tried to preach the pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's meeting with Ramananda Rai in accordance with the notebooks of Sri Swarup Damodar. Purport. At the end of every chapter, the author admits the value of the disciplic succession. He never claims to have written this transcendental literature by carrying out research work. He simply admits his indebtedness to the notes taken by Swarup Damodar, Raghunath Das Goswami, and other authoritative persons. This is the way of writing transcendental literatures, which are never meant for so-called scholars and research workers. The process is Mahajano Yen Gatah Sapanthaha. One has to strictly follow great personalities and acharyas. Acharyavan Purusho Veda. One who has the favor of the acharya knows everything. This statement made by Kaviraj Goswami is very valuable for all pure devotees. Sometimes the Prakrit Sahajas claim that they have heard the truth from their Guru. But one cannot have transcendental knowledge simply by hearing from a Guru who is not bona fide. The Guru must be bona fide and he must have heard from his own bona fide Guru. Only then will his message be accepted as bona fide. Lord Krishna confirms this in Bhagavad Gita. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktvanaham Abhyayam Vivasvanamanve Praha Manur Ikshvakave Abhavi. The Supreme Lord said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivasvan, and Vivasvan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed it to Ikshvaku. In this way, the message is transmitted in the bona fide spiritual disciplic succession from bona fide spiritual master to bona fide student. Srila Kaviraj Goswami therefore, as usual, concludes this chapter by reasserting his faith in the lotus feet of the six Goswamis. Thus, he is able to set forth this transcendental literature, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Text 313, last text. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rup and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, 8th chapter, describing the talks between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. Chapter 9. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's travels to the holy places. A summary of the 9th chapter is given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. After leaving Vidyanagar, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited such places of pilgrimage as Gautami Ganga, Mallika Arjuna, Ahovalam Narsimha, Siddhavata, Skand Kshetra, Trimatha, Vriddha Kashi, Baudh Sthan, Tirupati, Tirumala, Kana Narsimha, Shiva Kanchi, Vishnu Kanchi, Trikalahasti, Vriddha Kol, Shyali, Bhairavi, the Kaveri river, and Kumbhakarna Kapal. Finally, the Lord went to Sri Rangashetra, where he converted a Brahmana named Venkat Bhatta, who, along with his family, took up devotional service to Krishna. After leaving Sri Ranga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reached Rishabh Parvat, where he met Paramananda Puri, who later arrived at Jagannath Puri. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then proceeded farther, arriving at Setubandh Rameshwar. At Sri Shaila Parvat, the Lord met Lord Shiva and his wife Durga in the dress of a Brahmana and Brahmani. From there he went to Kam Koshti Puri and later arrived at Sadran Mathura. A Brahmana devotee of Lord Ramchandra talked with him. Then the Lord took his bath in the river Kritmala. On the hill known as Mahindra Shaila, the Lord saw Parshuram. Then the Lord went to Setubandh and took his bath at Dhanush Tirth. He also visited Rameshwar, where he collected some papers connected with Sita Devi, whose illusory form had been kidnapped by Ravana. The Lord next visited the places known as Pandya Desh, the Tamparani river, Nai Tripti, Chiyadatala, Til Kanchi, Gajendra Mokshana, Panagadi, Chamtapur, Sri Vaikuntha, Malay Parvat, and Kanyakumari. The Lord then comforted the Bhattaharis at Mallardesh and saved Kala Krishnadas from their clutches. The Lord also collected the Brahm Samhita 5th chapter on the banks of the Payasvini river. He then visited Payasvini, Shringavera, Purimat, and Matsyatir. At the village of Udupi, he saw the Gopal deity installed by Sri Madhvacharya. He then defeated the Tattvavadis in Shastric conversation. The Lord next visited Falgu Tirth, Tritakku, Panchapsara, Surparaka, and Kolhapur. At Pandarpur, the Lord received news from Sri Rangapuri that Shankaranya Vishwadev had disappeared there. Pandarpur. He then went to the banks of Krishna river, where he collected from among the Vaishnava Brahmanas, a book written by Bilva Mangal Thakur, Sri Krishna Karnamrit. The Lord then visited Tapi, Mahishmatipur, the Narmada river, and Rishyamukh Parvat. He entered Dandakaranya and liberated 7 palm trees. From there he visited a place known as Pampa Sarovar and visited Panchvati, Nasika, Brahmagiri, and also the source of the Godavari river, Kushavarta. Thus the Lord visited almost all the holy places in South India. He finally returned to Jagannath Puri by taking the same route after visiting Vidyanagar again. Text 1. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu converted the inhabitants of South India. These people were as strong as elephants, but they were in the clutches of the crocodiles of various philosophies, such as the Buddhist, Jain, and Mayavad philosophies. With his disc of mercy, the Lord delivered them all by converting them into Vaishnavas, devotees of the Lord. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's converting the people of South India into Vaishnavas is compared herein to Lord Vishnu's delivering Gajendra, the elephant, from the attack of a crocodile. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited southern India, almost all the residents were living the joy of the crocodiles of Buddhist, Jain, and Mayavad philosophy. Here Kaviraj Goswami states that although these people were as strong as elephants, they were almost in the clutches of death because they were being attacked by the crocodiles of various philosophies. However, just as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the form of Vishnu saved the elephant Gajendra from the clutches of a crocodile, so he saved all the people of South India from the clutches of various philosophies by converting them into Vaishnavas. Text 2. All glories to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Lord Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Sri Advaita Prabhu, and all glories to all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's tour of South India was certainly very extraordinary because he visited many thousands of places of pilgrimage there. Next, on the plea of visiting all those holy places, the Lord converted many thousands of residents and thus delivered them. Simply by touching the holy places, he made them into great places of pilgrimage. First, it is said, Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. A tirth or holy place is a place where great saintly personalities visit or reside. Although the holy places were already places of pilgrimage. Sorry? Write the line separately. This was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's tour of South India was certainly very extraordinary because he visited many thousands of places of pilgrimage there. On the plea of visiting all those holy places, the Lord converted many thousands of residents and thus delivered them. Simply by touching the holy places, he made them into great places of pilgrimage. The last line. Sorry? कौन सा है?
दोबारा पढ़िए
मैं पीछे पढ़. Text 1 onwards. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu converted the inhabitants of South India. These people were as strong as elephants, but they were in the clutches of the crocodiles of various philosophies, such as the Buddhist, Jain, and Mayavad philosophies. With his disc of mercy, that the Lord delivered them all by converting them into Vaishnavas, devotees of the Lord. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was converting the people of South India into Vaishnavas is compared herein to Lord Vishnu's delivering Gajendra, the elephant, from the attack of crocodile. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited southern India, almost all the residents were within the jaws of the crocodiles of Buddhist, Jain, and Mayavad philosophies. Here Kaviraj Goswami states that although these people were as strong as elephants, they were almost in the clutches of death because they were being attacked by the crocodiles of various philosophies. However, just as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the form of Vishnu saved the elephant Gajendra from the clutches of a crocodile, so he saved all the people of South India from the clutches of various philosophies by converting them into Vaishnavas. All glories to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Sri Advaita Prabhu, and all glories to the devotees, all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's tour of South India was certainly very extraordinary because he visited many thousands of places of pilgrimage there. On the plea of visiting all those holy places, the Lord converted many thousands of residents and thus delivered them. Simply by touching the holy places, he made them into great places of pilgrimage. Purport. It is said, Tirthi Kulanti Tirthani. Tirthi Kulanti Tirthani? Okay. A tirth or holy place is a place where great saintly personalities visit or reside. Although the holy places were already places of pilgrimage, they are all purified by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's visit. Many people go to these holy places and leave their sinful activities there, thus becoming free from contamination. When these contaminations pile up, they are counteracted by the visit of great personalities like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his strict followers. Many kinds of patients come to a hospital, which may be infected by many types of diseases. Actually, the hospital is always infected, but the expert physician keeps the hospital sterilized by his expert presence and management. Actually, the hospital is always infected, but the expert physician keeps the hospital sterilized by his expert presence. But the expert physician keeps the hospital sterilized by his expert presence and management. Similarly, the places of pilgrimage are always infected by the sins left by the sinners who go there. But when a personality like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visits such a place, all contamination vanish. Next, text 5. I cannot chronologically record all the places of pilgrimage visited by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I can only summarize everything by saying that the Lord visited all holy places, right and left, coming and going. Text 6. Because it is impossible for me to record all the places in town of this way, in all villages visited by the Lord, everyone became a Vaishnava, a devotee. Purport. The holy name of Krishna and Hari, or the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, are so spiritually powerful that even today, as our preachers go to remote parts of the world, people immediately begin chanting Hare Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the supreme personality of Godhead himself. There cannot be anyone who can compare to him or his potencies. However, because we are following in his footsteps and are also chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the effect is almost as potent as during the time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Our preachers mainly belong to European and American countries. Yet, by the grace of Lord Chaitanya, they have tremendous success wherever they go to open branches. Indeed, everywhere people are very seriously chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In text 9, in South India, there were many types of people. Some were philosophical speculators and some were fruity workers. But in any case, there were innumerable non-devotees. Text 10. By the influence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all these people abandoned their own opinions and became Vaishnavas, devotees of Krishna. Text 11. At that time, all the South Indian Vaishnavas were worshippers of Lord Ramachandra. Some were Tattvavadis and some were followers of Ramachandra. Purport. Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur points out that the word Tattvavadi refers to the followers of Srila Madhvacharya. To distinguish this respective succession from the Mayavadi followers of Shankaracharya, Srila Madhvacharya named his party the Tattvavadis. Impersonal monists are always attacked by these Tattvavadis who attempt to place the word impersonal. Generally, they establish the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, the difference between Madhvacharya is known as Brahma Vaishnava. That is the fact coming down from Lord Brahma. Consequently, the Tattvavadis or followers of Madhvacharya do not accept the incident of Lord Brahma's illusion, which is recorded in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Madhvacharya has purposefully avoided commenting on that portion of Srimad Bhagavatam in which Brahma Mohana, the illusion of Lord Brahma, is mentioned. Srila Madhavendra Puri was one of the acharyas in the Tattvavad recited succession, and he established the and the wisdom to the attainment of pure devotion to the love of God. Those Vaishnavas belonging to the body of society, the disciple succession following Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, are distinct from Tattvavadis, although they belong to the same Tattvavad society. The followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are therefore known as Madhvacharya. The word Pashtuti refers to those who are opposed to pure devotion to God. In particular, these are the Mayavadis and Impersonalists. A definition of Pashtuti is given in the Hari Bhakti Vilas about wherein it is said, if are both the worshippers of Lord Narayan and Lakshmi. Lord Krishna, leader of the creation, kindly while walking on the road, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to chant this Rama. Chanting in this way, he was tied at the banks of the water and took his bath. While walking on the road, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to chant this Rama Rama Mantra. Chanting in this way, he arrived at the banks of the Gautami Ganga and took his bath here. Purport. The Gautami Ganga is a branch of the river Godavari. Commonly, a great sage named Gautam Rishi used to live on the bank of this river opposite the city of Rajamahendri, and consequently this branch was called the Gautami Ganga. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has recorded the names of the holy places visited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but that there is no chronological order of the praises. However, there is a notebook of Govinda Dasas containing chronological order and references to geographical position. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur requests the readers to refer to that book. According to Govinda Das, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to 3 months from the Gautami Ganga. From there he went to Dhumbi Ram, another place of pilgrimage. According to Sri Chaitanya Chaitanya, after visiting the Gautami Ganga, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Malika. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then went to Malika and saw the beauty of Lord Shiva there. He also induced all the people to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Purport. Malika Arjun is also known as Sri Shaila. It is situated about 100 miles north of Karnool on the southern bank of the Krishna river. There are great walls all around the village, and within the walls resides a deity known as Malika Arjun. It is a deity of Lord Shiva and is one of the Jyotirlinga. Text 16. There he saw Lord Mahadev, Shiva, the servant of Lord Ram. He then went to Ahovar Narasimha. Text 17. Upon seeing the Ahovar Narasimha deity, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered many prayers unto the Lord. He then went to Siddhavata, where he saw the deity of Lord Ramchandra, the Lord of Sita. Purport. Siddhavata, also known as Siddhaut, is 10 miles east of the village of Kudappa. Previously, this place was also known as the southern Banaras. There is a great banyan tree there, and it is therefore known as Siddhavat. Vata means banyan tree. Text 18. Upon seeing the deity of Lord Ramchandra, the descendant of King Raghu, the Lord offered his prayers and obeisances. Then a Brahmana invited the Lord to take lunch. That Brahmana constantly chanted the holy name of Lord Ramchandra. Indeed, but for chanting Lord Ramchandra's holy name, that Brahmana did not speak. Text 20. That day, Lord Chaitanya remained there and accepted prasadam at his house. After bestowing mercy upon him in this way, the Lord proceeded ahead. Next. At the holy place known as Skanda Kshetra, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the temple of Skanda. From there he went to Srimanthara, where he saw the Vishnu meeting Sri Vikrama. Text 22. After reaching the temple of Sri Vikrama, the Lord returned to Chitravat. Here he again visited the house of the Brahmana, who was now constantly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. After finishing his lunch there, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked the Brahmana, "My dear friend, kindly tell me what is your position now? What your position is now? Formerly you were constantly chanting the holy name of Lord Ram. Why are you now constantly chanting the holy name of Krishna?" The Brahmana replied, "This is all due to your influence, sir. After seeing you, I have lost my lifelong practice. From my childhood, I have been chanting the holy name of Lord Ramchandra, but upon seeing you, I chanted the holy name of Lord Krishna. Just since then, the holy name of Krishna has been tightly fixed upon my tongue. Indeed, since I have been chanting the holy name of Krishna, the holy name of Lord Ramchandra has gone far away. From my childhood, I have been collecting the glories of the holy name from the Vedic scriptures. The supreme absolute source is called Rama because the transcendentalists take pleasure in the unlimited true pleasure of spiritual existence. Purpose. This is the 8th verse of Shat Nam Stotra of Lord Ramchandra, which is found in Padma Purana. Text 30. The word Krish is the attractive figure of the Lord's existence, and Anam means spiritual pleasure. When the verb Krish is added to the affix Ana, it becomes Krishna, which indicates the absolute truth. This purpose is a verse from Mahabharata, Udyog Parva, 71. Text 31. As far as the holy names of Ram and Krishna are concerned, they are on an equal level. But for further advancement, we receive some specific information from the Vedic scripture. Text 32. Lord of Shiva addressed his wife Durga. O Varanana, I chant the holy name of Rama, and thus enjoy this beautiful sound. This holy name of Ramchandra is equal to 1,000 holy names of Lord Vishnu. This is a verse from Brihad Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra in the Uttarakhand of the Padma Purana. The pious result is derived from chanting the 1,000 holy names of Vishnu 3 times can be attained by only one utterance of the holy name of Krishna. Purpose. This verse from the Brahman Purana is found in the Lalit Samhita by Rupa Goswami. Simply by chanting the name of Krishna once, one can attain the same results achieved by chanting the holy name of Rama. Text 34.
क्या